I really want to take a few moments and thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for continuing to show up every single day. And I know that right now, the times that we are in, whether it is financially, whether it is the economy, whether it is your community around you, I know that right now we are all experiencing heavy layers of obstacles that we're having to overcome. And in some of these spaces that you may be in and that I may be in, there are moments that happen in our lives that we, in essence, feel as though the pressure is become too much. I'm not sure about you, but I know that I have stood in places where I have done the right things and I have sown the right seeds and everything that I knew that should be done. And still in that place, there is a space of time that occurs where there is a waiting for any form of manifestation or for any form of seeing the reality of what you were working towards. And there is this space of time where we can want to give up, we can want to throw in the towel, we can want to stop, we can want to and allow things to make us change. But the challenge is to stay true to who you are and to continue to do the right thing, even in spaces where it seems difficult. The challenge is for you to not allow the external forces, or what some would say, the world, to infect you with its ways, with you allowing external things to change how you show up, change how you love, how you give, how you speak positive and give positive. You're going to be tested. And not only are you going to be tested, but you're going to see all types of quotes and sayings of people that are going to validate this feeling. And they are going to want to push you towards reacting or responding from a place that is not indicative of your values and of your system of belief. There are so many different beliefs of thought, but you must stand firm to what you believe. You must stand firm to what you know to be truth, what you know to be real, what you know to be good. Because it is only by you standing firm on those things that you will see the results come into fruition in your life. Tonight, I want to talk about that distance of space. I want to talk about the time in which you are working towards something and an obstacle comes up and the fight is so difficult, the fight is so hard that everything inside of you wants to stop, walk away, or change what you're believing for. I want to talk about that space of time today because in my message, there is someone that is going to literally launch into the space of seeing what you've been waiting for. There are some words that I'm going to say. There are some things that I am going to trigger. There are some things that I am intentionally being placed here for today to start the fire back inside of you again because you were at the place of wanting to stop. Now, maybe sometimes in that space, we are taught the lesson that maybe the thing that you were going towards may not have been the right thing, but the overall initiative behind the thing is what God was wanting to create inside of you. You see, sometimes we can be going for something like a car, or we can be going for something like a job, or going for something like a specific type of business. And we can put all of our everything into that. And then it doesn't happen. and we can become discouraged, or we can become frustrated in the fight, and we can say things like, well, I tried it, and I'm just going to fall back on what everybody else was doing or what I was doing before, a place of comfortability. Not realizing that in the process of you fighting, in the process of you going towards it, while the thing may not have worked, the character that was built up inside of you was preparation for what is actually for you. The preparation of some of those bad relationships was you being disappointed and having to maneuver through the vicissitudes of those feelings. You being rejected, you being hurt, you being dismissed. Those things were preparing you. They were creating some type of character inside of you, teaching you valuable lessons that would help you as you go towards the actual thing that is for you. So that when you get what it is that is for you, that you'll be able to keep it and maintain it, because the character has been built within inside of you. I want to look at this scripture in John chapter 16, verse number 33. And it says these words, I have said these things to you that you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. I'm going to read another scripture, 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse number 17. You will not need to fight in this battle. Stand firm, hold your position, and see the salvation of the Lord on your behalf. O Judah and Jerusalem, don't be afraid and do not be dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, and the Lord will be with you. There are two different messages, two different scriptures that are pointing us towards the same exact result. And that result is that there is going to be victory. But in both scriptures, we also see this similar happenstance. We see this similar circumstance. And that similar circumstance is that there is trouble on the way to victory. That there is always obstacle on the way to seeing what it is that you're praying for. Many times the very thing that you are praying for is the very thing that you will be tested by. It is in the very area that you are believing to change, the very circumstance, relationship, jobship, whatever it may be, that you are believing to change, that is the very area that you are going to be tested in. That testing is happening to you because it is preparing you. And it is positioning you in the place to where you finally surrender to understand that it is a higher power than yourself that causes these things to happen. See, if it had happened before, then you could have taken the credit, or someone else could have taken the credit. But at the place where you are now, in the amount of obstacles that you've had to overcome, you know that there's nothing inside of you that could have made it through all of those things and still have the mindset to keep going unless there was a higher power, unless there was a God that had a plan that was bigger than your circumstance. We are always tested. And I have found that the testing happens the greatest right before the victory. And I know that that is something that we hear so frequently that it becomes almost run down, and it's become just cliche, and it's become catchy as a phrase that people just use for anything. But I want you to understand that the darkest hour is right before day. That weeping has to endure for a night, joy comes in the morning, but the weeping part is there. It's a choice to whether we weep. But the weeping part is there. What we see in scriptures and in stories from real life examples is that there are always these moments in everyone's life where you are tested to the point of failure. And you may fail multiple times before you find or stumble upon great success. There is a story about Abraham and Sarah when they were well into their 90s, where God had promised them that they were going to have a child. And there was a period of them waiting for an extended period of time, so much so that they made a decision. They made a decision that they were going to act outside of their character, that they were going to take matters into their own hand. Abraham went and got his maidservant and had relations with his maidservant and created a child. And this child became the source of pain for his wife, Sarah, because it was a constant reminder of where they gave up and they stopped trying and they took matters into their own hand. This is a reminder to us that we should not take matters into our own hand, that we should not change consistent upon what's happening to us, but that we can stand firm to believe that what I believe for myself will happen. And it may not always come through the source or through the person that I was hoping that it would come through or from, but it will indeed happen. There's this other scripture of Peter when he was on the boat, and he was traveling, and he was arriving to this location, and the storms began to beat upon the ship, and all of the people that were on the ship became sorely afraid, and they knew that surely they were going to die. But he stood up and he spoke, and he said, he stood up and he spoke, and he said, we're not going to die, not in this. We're going to keep going, and we're going to make it ashore. And certainly the ship began to break apart into various different pieces. Everything was falling apart, but they grabbed a hold to the broken pieces, and they were able to make it over on the broken pieces. Sometimes it all will fall apart in your life, but you have to grab onto what is working for you. Grab a hold to it and do not let it go. Even though you may be tested by everything that is around you, you have to hold on to what is working, and you will arrive to your destination. As I was preparing for this, I was thinking about the story of Colonel Sanders and how there were over 1,000 different recipes that he tried, and each of them were failures until he finally stumbled upon the one that we know to be the KFC recipe that everyone has experienced at least once in their life. Even in other countries that have been experienced, they have had the experience of trying that 1,001 recipe that finally worked. There will be countless number of moments where you will be tried. There will be countless number of moments that things are going to come against you. There are going to be countless number of moments where you're going to want to walk away. You're going to want to give up. But I'm going to challenge you to hold on to what's working for you. Hold on to the principles that you have ascertained. Hold on to your foundation. Continue to walk in truth. Continue to walk in love. Continue to forgive. Continue to show up. Continue to use the talents and the gifts that you have been given, and space will be made for you. And maybe God is just simply allowing the pieces to fall apart that are not necessary. Maybe God is allowing people to be exposed in your life that should not go with you. Maybe God is allowing the pieces of things that you were trying to drag into this next season of your life to drop off of you, because he was trying to tell you that those things would only hold you back when you step into this place that you have been being prepared for since you were created in your mother's womb. Your promise is so much bigger than whatever you are facing right now. The things that are for you are so much bigger than whatever you have been fighting against. And maybe you've been wasting all of your energy trying to fight something that you were only supposed to let go of. Maybe you have been in the place of exhaustion because you have been trying to war with things and with people that you were supposed to save that energy in order to build your future, build what you were hoping for. There's always this space of time where we are challenged to give up. We are challenged to let go of what we're believing. but it's in that space of time that there is a fork in the road, that we have to make a decision. The decision that we must choose to make must be for our future. What else do you have to lose? What else do you have to lose when everything else has already been fighting you? You might as well hold on to this to at least see what it could possibly become. Imagine yourself 5 years down the road. If you continue to keep going the direction that you're going, knowing that you are sowing the right seeds, even if people come and if people go, allowing people to come in your life and leave your life as God allows it to happen. Imagine if you keep working on the things that no one can take from you. Working on your character, working on your skills, working on your creativity, working on your heart, working on your love, working on your ability to be able to do the things that you desire to do better. Imagine 5 years from now how you will look back and thank yourself, because even though you were tried, even though you came against obstacle, even though you were fought back, you kept going. The message for today: before you give up, I want you to consider that if you keep going, you could possibly see it. But if you give up now, you will never see it happen. I hope that this message has encouraged you. And I am hoping that you will get the courage in the space of time to bring yourself back to consciousness of understanding that the power has always been within inside of you. And that's the only reason why things have fought you so hard, to make you doubt yourself and question yourself, so that you would not see the value and the beauty of what you have inside. I hope this message has blessed you. Do me a favor, if you will, and share this with someone, because someone else needs to hear it today so that they can be encouraged after the same manner. Please do me a favor. Every single Thursday at 6 o'clock a.m., our team prays, and we would count it as a privilege and an honor. I want to pray for you and your family. So please just say in the comments, pray for me, and we will be praying for you. Thank you for every partner that has sown, that shows up every single week, that shares every single week, that has subscribed to the channels. Thank you. I love you with all of my heart, and I am so glad that you are part of my family. I want you to look forward to this next coming weeks, and do me a favor, guys. I want to think of a name for our community, so drop a few ideas into the chat as well, and we will have a name for our community. Thank you, guys. I love you. Have a wonderful, happy